Hey everybody, my name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker, and it is time to do some live coverage. This might be the long haul stream. Storms are really starting to get their act together, so this might be kind of the start of some marathon streaming. Real quick, if you don't mind, leave a comment, let me know if you're hearing me, seeing me just fine, so we can get that out of the way now, and then I'll start talking about the storms. Looks like my chat's up, feed's up, radar looks good, screen's not messed up like it was earlier. I think we're good. Everything looks good. See and hear you. Great. Thank you guys for the comments. Let's do this. I want to zoom out real quick, give you guys a wide angle on what we're looking at, okay? Things have changed since we last talked. It is right at 2 p.m., so 1:47, so not far from 2 p.m. We've got multiple strong to severe thunderstorms ongoing now. I think we're just now really getting started, and things are going to continue through the afternoon. We've got 2 severe thunderstorms in western Arkansas, so one east of Fort Smith near Ozark. I feel like it's been raining there for the last 2 hours. We have one down near Waldron, another strong storm near Mena, and one near Danville. Those are not tornado warned. These 2 storms in North Arkansas, short term, to me, are pretty concerning. Both of them were showing signs of rotation. There is no tornado warnings, but they do have severe thunderstorm warnings for large hail and significant wind gust. The National Weather Service referenced both of them as having a considerable threat to damage. This storm, it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like there's rotation down near Pendle, and this is in far northeastern Newton County, I believe. Yeah, far northeastern Newton County, northern sections of Searcy County, and that's going to continue up into Marion County, that circulation will. There's no tornado warning, but obviously it appears that storm is rotating at least. And then the storm to the north also appears to be rotating as it is passing over northern sections of Marion County, just west of Bull Shoals. You can see the circulation there. There's another one down here. No tornado warnings at this time, but those storms are strong, strong to severe. It's a little messy. These storms are kind of... they're not, just completely discrete, supercellular, classic. But both of these storms are strong, especially near Western Grove and Pendle, Everton, and the storm approaching Bull Shoals. We've got a lot of lightning and thunder going on in Mountain Home. So it's probably noisy in this region. We can go back down and zoom in on this stuff too, closer to Fort Smith. Give you guys an update there. To me, the stuff down here near Fort Smith, in Boonville, Havana, up to Coxville, Ozark, is not as organized, but there's probably still lots of rainfall ongoing, perhaps some hail at times. I see a few spots where there might be some hail embedded in that. Plenty of lightning and thunder. I know whenever this passed through my house earlier, it was very noisy. And then we have activity moving into southwest Arkansas down here. We've got these new developments near Idabel, Oklahoma, the stuff near Mena. And guys, eventually, I know it feels like something we've been talking about all day. Eventually, this activity is going to move to the east. So while the storms might have a northeasterly component to them, the entire system itself will have an easterly track throughout the day today. We're approaching the 2 p.m. hour now. And I've been saying all day that I felt like the 2 p.m. to like 7 p.m. window, maybe 8 p.m., really if you want to get down to the fine details, is the timing of concern for this afternoon. We dealt with some stuff in western Arkansas this morning. The severe weather risk in Fort Smith up to northwest Arkansas wasn't really that high. We just kind of had some noisy storms. That was expected. The bulk of the severe weather issues are likely through the next several hours. The conditions downstream, so I'm talking if you're in Little Rock, or if you're in Jonesboro, or if you're in Monticello, or whatever, pick any area in eastern central Arkansas, south Arkansas, northeast Arkansas. You've had nothing today. The atmosphere is just kind of cooking. And these storms are eventually going to move into that atmosphere later today. We've had a mix of clouds and sun, and I feel like that has allowed the atmosphere not to necessarily mix out to where our temperature and dew point spreads are more favorable for storms. including tornadoes. Storms might not be, we're under a high risk for severe weather today in eastern Arkansas and a moderate risk with an emphasis on tornadoes. We might not have that classic 1 or 2 supercells today that produce an EF4 that tracks for 70 miles. But there's reason to believe that as these storms move east later today, that we could have multiple tornadoes, maybe at one time. That's the reasoning for the high risk today, is that there's a high risk that we could have multiple storms that produce tornadoes, some possibly strong. And I think what we're experiencing now in north central Arkansas, western Arkansas, is the beginning. And speaking of the devil, there's our first tornado warning of the day as of 1:52 p.m. So let's go ahead and talk about that. We've already talked about it a little bit since we came on. So let's go out of the Springfield radar and we can look at the circulation together. The range folding is kind of rough, but you can see the circulation. This is strong circulation, guys. Right here. The tornado is going to be located just northwest of Pendle, kind of in this area. So on a county basis, we're talking northeastern sections of Newton County, northern sections of Searcy County. We're kind of at the border of all of Boone, Searcy, Newton, and Marion counties. So I just want to give an early heads up here with this circulation. We can get down to, so it's just, the circulation looks like it's in between Western Grove and Pendle. Let's pull out the maps and get a little specific to make sure people in the path of this know what's coming. I want to make sure I have this perfect. There we go. So the circulation right now looks like it's crossed or is about to cross Highway 65. Highway 65, if you're coming from Pendle to Western Grove, runs, kind of like this. And it goes up to Valley Springs and eventually up to Harrison. Harrison is not in the polygon. But Everton, Yellville, Summit, Flippin, and Gassville, you are into the polygon for this tornado warning. That also includes the communities of Eros, and I might say some of these wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not from this part of the state. Bruno. If you live on Highway 235, if you live near the 235 and 125 highway intersection, you're under a tornado warning. If you live in Yellville, if you live off Highway 14, south of Yellville, we'll just say all the way down to the Marion County 5004 roadway intersection. If you live anywhere along Highway 235 from Eros to Bruno and then back up to Yellville, you're under a tornado warning. The circulation is right here. We'll see if Storm Relative looks any better. It doesn't. This is a bad spot of our state for radar data, folks, but this is a really intense storm moving off to the east. I can't talk today. To the east, northeast. Lord help me. It's going to be a long afternoon and evening. So really want people to take this serious. The threat today includes the risk for tornadoes, some possibly strong or even violent if everything lines up. So if you do get a warning on your phone, if the sirens are going off outside, take the warning serious today, folks. If you know someone who lives in Yellville, if you know someone who lives around Yellville, if you know anybody that lives in southern Marion County, now is the time, like we talked about earlier this morning. Get on the phone, call them. Let them know, hey, you might have a tornado headed your way. They may have no idea. I mean, it's storming, so they probably have an idea that it's not the greatest outside. But let them know. And I'll go ahead and read you the National Weather Service chat. This does go all the way out to Baxter County. So if you live in Mountain Home or Briarcliff, Sellsville, or Norfolk, the sirens might be going off. If you live near Bull Shoals, the sirens might be going off. Mountain Home is technically not in the polygon yet, but it's one of those things where if this circulation persists, you eventually will be in the polygon given the track of this. The National Weather Service is stating that a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Duggar, 14 miles southwest of Yellville, northeast at 50 miles an hour. Guys, this thing's moving northeast at 50. So I definitely would take that serious because it's moving quick. Right now, this is radar indicated. I don't have any confirmation of anything being on the ground. I doubt we have many storm chasers in this area. It's very tough to chase in. It is still storming outside of my house. I live in western Arkansas, so if you hear thunder, that's what that is. I'm not in any danger for the time being. We should be safe where I am here in western Arkansas for the rest of the day. The focus is going to be in this part of the state. Zooming out a little bit, we've kind of referenced some of it already when we got on here, but if you live in central and eastern Arkansas, you're clear for the moment. But these storms that we're talking about now are eventually going to get to you through the afternoon. We've got one tornado warning as of 1:57 p.m. And the tornado warning is here for, okay, radar scope. The tornado warning is here for sections of Newton, Searcy, Boone, Baxter, and Marion counties. Circulation's right here, guys. I know it's hard to see. There's some range folding, the purple lines on there. We're kind of getting mid-level samples of the storm, so we might be looking at more mid-level rotation than anything. We can check out a Little Rock and see if it looks any better. It does look a little bit better, and it looks pretty potent. That's what I would consider strong rotation. So we very well could have a tornado on the ground right now. I don't know. Here, I'll show you the circulation again. It's this. You can clearly see these where the lines kind of come together here. That's what we're looking at. This is a velocity product. Does a good job of showing where winds kind of come together. The radar is registering winds going to and from the radar site. So when we see these colors bending, it's a good indication that the storm could be rotating and thus producing a tornado. Obviously, the Earth is not flat, contrary to popular belief. It's round, and radar beams go aloft in the atmosphere. So we don't always have good ground level readings. Sometimes we're looking up into the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So it's unknown if this tornado is necessarily on the ground, but that's strong rotation, guys. I mean, this is kind of what we expected today. This is just east of Western Grove. I want to go over this one more time. Let me zoom out, and we'll go over the county information or the community information again. Ginger, I should be on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter right now. I'm live on all of them. So, for those of you who missed the information earlier, the circulation is right here. Strong rotation. Okay, this is just southeast of Everton, Arkansas. So if you live anywhere near the Beckham Cemetery, if you live on Highway 25 near Eros, you need to be sheltered immediately. If you live on 235 west of Bruno or near Bruno, you need to be sheltered. If you live near or along areas that include the Prairie Farm Homestead, you need to be sheltered. If you live near Lynx Mechanical, you need to be sheltered. This looks like it's going to be awful close to Yellville. So if you live near the Lighthouse for Jesus Tabernacle, which is near Highway 14 south of Yellville, if you live anywhere near the Highway 14 and 235 intersection, you need to be sheltered immediately. This storm is moving at 50 miles an hour, so get your stuff together. Whatever you got to do to get to the shelter, get to your safe spot, let's do it now. That way you can just let the storm pass and we'll go on about our business. Highway 412 runs all the way from Belafonte. 65 and 412 meet there by Belafonte, go by Pyatt, and this goes over to the east. That's not included in the polygon, but if you live on Highway 412 just northwest of Yellville, you need to be sheltered. If you live in the community of Summit, you need to be sheltered. If you live anywhere near the North Central Arkansas Speedway, you should be sheltered. If you live anywhere near Flippin, you should be sheltered. Gasville is also included. I know that the sirens are probably going off in Mountain Home right now. Baxter County, I think, has county-based sirens. So if you live in Mountain Home and the sirens are going off, you're not under a tornado warning, but you could be soon if the warning is continued into Baxter, or if it's continued further into Baxter County and up into Fulton County. And this circulation, to me, appears to be rather strong. The National Weather Service is referencing this warning as a considerable threat. It's a very dangerous storm. I really hope everyone in Yellville is sheltered. I have a feeling that this storm could do some nasty stuff. Regardless of a tornado threat, there could be hail involved. There's a bunch of lightning. The winds are likely gusting quite a bit as well. But the circulation itself looks pretty strong. We're so far from the radar site, it's hard to see if we have any debris being picked up on radar, but I don't really need debris on radar right now. This is our concern right there. And guys, these radar sites, you know, the visibility that we have on radars, you know, it's not an exact science. It might not be perfectly situated like it is on radar. So that's why I'm really stressing, if anyone lives, you know, south of Yellville, if you live west of Yellville, anywhere in the polygon, be sheltered. These storms can make right turns. I've witnessed tornadoes make J-hooks. I mean, they do crazy stuff. So if you're anywhere near this, you need to be sheltered. It's a very, very dangerous thunderstorm. We're going to deal with more of these today. We could have several storms that do just this and start to rotate and could ultimately produce tornadoes. This is the only tornado warning in the state, I believe, as of 2 p.m. So it's 2 p.m. hour now, 2:03. I got to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. My phone's going crazy, guys. Yellville, you're right here. Circulation's right here. It's about to move into Yellville. If you're in Flippin, you need to be sheltered. If you're in Summit, you need to be sheltered. If you were anywhere near Gassville, you need to be sheltered. Let's zoom in even more. There's the Victory Independent Baptist Church just south of Yellville. There's Ozark, Oak Charcoal, the Marion County Public Defender. That's all on 235 coming into Yellville, and the circulation's about to pass right over you. If you live near Kelly's Slab Access, if you're listening to this and you live on Highway 14 just south of town, off of 412, Cherry Street, Dove Street, Circle Drive, that's all off 235. If you live anywhere near Crooked Creek, which is south of Yellville, if you live anywhere near the Yellville City Park, you could be impacted by a tornado very soon. You need to be sheltered. I mean, there's a lot of things here in Yellville. Obviously, there's a Sonic, a Subway, there's a Mexican kitchen, there's a boutique store, an Amazon distribution outpost. If you're listening to this and you can hear me, I'm talking about you. Please be sheltered. There's a circulation just southwest of town that's moving northeast at 50. It's going to be there any minute. I certainly would not take this storm for granted. And I'm sure the National Weather Service is going to eventually issue the warning out some more until this circulation starts to die down a little bit. But for now, they're maintaining this. I'm going to switch back to Springfield and see if the circulation is a little bit more visible from that radar site, because we're kind of in between that and Little Rock. Oh, wow. It is. Folks, you can see it there. I mean, this is blatantly obvious. This little, you can see the connector there. That's what I like to call them, these couplets. When they connect like that, it's generally a good indication. It's about to get really, it's about to get really messy in Yellville and Summit. There could be hail. A tornado could be moving into town. Get on Twitter and make a tweet real quick. X, whatever you want to call it. This is the only tornado warning in Arkansas right now. Thank you. And Ann says they're sheltered and listening to Zach in Yellville. Stay in your shelter. I promise. I'll let you know when the threat is passed. This is a 3-minute-old scan, so I'm waiting on a new scan to come in. This should be right on Yellville or just south of town now. This is a 3-minute-old scan. This storm's moving at 50 miles an hour. If there was a tornado ongoing, it's likely in this vicinity, somewhere in here. So it could have passed just southeast of town, but it's way too close. I wouldn't even think about risking it. If you're in Cotter, I got a really good friend in Cotter, and I'm going to call him right now. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't like doing this, but one of my best friends is in Cotter right now, and I'm calling him on air. Hey, are you in Cotter? You need to be sheltered. I can guarantee you, if there's not a tornado just to your southwest, there's about to be one soon. Yes, I know. Fantastic news for your Wednesday afternoon, but I just wanted to make sure you weren't out and about. Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know I'm live on air right now. I called you just because, yeah. So I'm just letting you know it'll be there in minutes. It's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. So I'm being dead serious. Don't play with it. Not on a day like today, okay? All right. Good luck. Be safe. Call me if you need something. Bye-bye. Okay, see ya. Folks, I'm really worried about this one. That was a good friend of mine. He's in Flippin. He's sheltering now, I hope. He can be a little stubborn at times, but this is the newest scan. It's moving into Yellville now. So strong rotation moving into Yellville. I've seen a couple of people comment from Summit, Flippin, and Cotter, and even Gassville. You need to be sheltered immediately. Don't wait. You're running out of time. This storm is moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. At least that's what the latest scan was. We'll see if that still has it. That's what the text reflects. Yeah, northeast at 50. So, and folks, there is no state troopers to stop them. There is no stoplights, stop signs, yield, nothing. They just go. If you're in Cotter, if you're anywhere near the White River, if you've ever been up there, if you've ever been to Cotter, there's a lot of good fishing up there on the White River. If you're anywhere near Cotter, if you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of that mobile home and go to a structure. If you're in Flippin, if you are near Gassville, if you're at any of the resorts, the Rim Shoals resorts, if you live north of Red Valley, if you're near Crooked Creek, south of 412, you need to be sheltered because a tornado could be moving into your location very soon. It's likely over Yellville now. It's 2:09 p.m. This is a 2:07 p.m. scan. Just making sure this is the only tornado warning we have right now, and this is the most significant situation we have right now. It's not even really close. We have a few other severe thunderstorms ongoing now, but we really gotta watch this one close, folks. This is still like we had earlier. This is another 3-minute old scan. I'm gonna zoom out some so you guys can kind of see what I'm dealing with here. Like I said earlier, the sirens are probably going off in Mountain Home, Briarcliff, Salesville, Norfolk, because of the county-based sirens. The polygon hasn't made it to you, but I would take a guess and say the National Weather Service will probably end up extending this warning to the northeast. I'm just waiting on a new velocity scan. I'd love to see this thing downtrend a little bit. It's done the exact opposite for us. If you're in Mountain Home, if you live in Baxter County, if you live in southeastern Marion County, if you live south of Gassville, I just want to put this out there now because Mountain Home has a fairly populous area for this part of our state. If you're in Mountain Home, you're not under a tornado warning, but I would start getting that stuff prepped. Whatever, if you're going to a shelter, whatever your safe place is in your home, make sure that's in order. So if a warning is issued, you can go ahead and get to it and you're not caught with your pants down because these storms are moving quick today, 50 miles an hour plus, and you don't want to be stalling and looking for things. I'm giving you an early heads up. The National Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning for your city yet, but judging by the circulation here, it's over Yellville now. Unless this thing significantly downtrends in the next 10 to 15 minutes, you're probably going to have a tornado warning soon. It's over Yellville now, so it looks like I would venture to guess that it just now crossed 14. So if you're going south on 14 out of Yellville, there's the Lighthouse for Jesus Tabernacle. There's all sorts of roads that stretch off from 14. There's Marion County 6001, Marion County 6087. There's Mill Creek. That part, I think, is where it just crossed. Who knows if there's a tornado on the ground or if it's just, the storm's just really rotating there. I don't have any. I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to check my Facebook messages and see if I've got any reports. Might check Twitter too real quick. I don't have anything yet. But I just want to reiterate, if you have people that you know in Flippin, I just called a friend of mine that's in Flippin. I did the same thing. If you know somebody that lives in Flippin, Gassville, areas around Flippin and Gassville, they're next for this circulation. You might give them a phone call and let them know that a tornado could be heading in soon. It's storming there, so I'm sure they probably have a clue that it's not the greatest weather right now. And then we already talked about Mountain Home, Briarcliff, Salesville, Norfolk, areas north and east, I guess east as well, and west of Mountain Home. Southwestern Baxter County is already in the warning. And I'm curious to see if the National Weather Service goes ahead and issues the warning out some. This is the only tornado warning in town right now, or in the state right now. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in western Arkansas. We've got some down near Danville, Russellville. We've got all kinds of nasty storms from Ponca down to Clarksville. For now, these are not tornadic. We don't have any tornado warnings down here. And we've got additional development here. It looks like we've got some development attempting southeast of Little Rock. This is down near Monticello. And we'll watch that, make sure it stays under control. And then all kinds of nasty up in North Arkansas, including our one solo tornado warning. I'm getting comments from people saying there's a tornado on the ground in Bull, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I haven't seen. Maybe it might have just been a typo. I don't know. I haven't seen anything official. Bull Shoals is not even in the tornado warning. The circulation doesn't look as impressive as it did 10 minutes ago. You see it now. We can loop it. See right there? See how strong it was here just southwest of Yellville? Right there. Not to say it's still not impressive and that it's still not rotating, because it is, but we need a couple more of those scans. We need some more downtrends, because this is headed right for Mountain Home and Gassville and Flippin. Yeah, I don't know if it's on the ground. Looking at the correlation coefficient a few minutes ago, the debris tracker is what I like to call it. It's hard to see. This is a rough part of our state for radar data. We need more radars. We could prevent a lot of this if we could get more radars in Arkansas. Someone says this headed towards Salem. Sort of. It's headed in the general vicinity of Fulton County, but Salem's pretty far to the east. We'll have to see. That's still quite a distance away. Don't know if a tornado's on the ground yet, guys. I haven't seen anything official. I'm going to switch over to Little Rock radar and see if it looks any different. We're going to loop this real quick. There's still a circulation there, but like I said earlier, it doesn't look as impressive as it did just southwest of Yellville earlier. Great news. Still, if you're in Flippin, if you're in Gassville, stay in your shelters. If you live in southwestern Baxter County, anywhere near Gassville, stay in your shelters. Yeah, someone said they got a critical warning for their phone for Yellville. That's great to hear. The circulation has now passed Yellville. But this storm is continuing off to the northeast. Kind of just a reset. I'm getting a lot of questions about places that are really nowhere near this. Folks, this is the only, you're looking at the activity here. Everything here is the activity. And this is all going to move east with time. So you live in Little Rock, if you live in Jonesboro, Batesville, if you live in Brinkley, these storms will eventually move east and head your direction with time. And that will pose a severe weather risk, just like we're seeing now. We've had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings today. We've had tornado warnings today. That's going to continue. This is interesting to note. This is what we call open warm sector development. Who knows if it'll turn into anything? But this could have substantial tornado risk here in western Tennessee, northern Mississippi, maybe parts of eastern Arkansas as well. But for right now, the only tornado warning in the state is this one here in Marion County. And it's over Flippin and Gassville right now. If there was a tornado ongoing, that circulation still looks pretty strong. That's a 4-minute-old scan, so waiting on the newest scan. Hasn't quite made it to Flippin and Gassville on that scan. That's it too. Well, no, it has. So we'll go ahead and go back to the community map here and just go over that real quick. So obviously we're past Yellville now. This thing's moving right along. We're on 50 miles an hour. Highway 412 runs off of 178 south of Flippin, and it connects to Old Highway 62 east. This looks like it's near that. You've got the White River that bends around Cotter. If you've ever been fishing up there, you know what I'm talking about. The White River bends around Cotter like that. If you're anywhere in Cotter, Gassville is just up to the northeast. If you're in Cotter, if you're near the White River, you need to be sheltered because a tornado could be headed for you right now. If you're camping or you've got your boat in the water, take this serious. 412 runs all the way up, goes over the White River, and then starts to branch into Gassville. If you're in Gassville, folks, I could name off all the community things here in Gassville. If you're in the city limits of Gassville, or if you live nearby, there's a circulation that's headed into town right now. It's not as strong as it was earlier when it was near Yellville, but it's still certainly there. You can see it on radar right here. So we need to take it serious until it passes. Mountain Home, you're next. So hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so, this thing's moving fast. Hopefully we can get rid of this circulation. A lot of people asking me, is there a tornado on the ground? I don't know. I don't think so. Not at this point. I haven't seen anything to suggest that there is. But the issue is we have a circulation that spawned a tornado warning, so we have to treat it serious because things can happen so fast. I've seen these things in person. I used to storm chase quite a bit, and I've seen these storms go from nothing to something. It's just like that. Storms start rotating rapidly, and they can produce a tornado quick. So until that warning goes away and that circulation really starts to dissipate, you have to take it serious. I'll go ahead and zoom back out a little bit so everybody can see what we're looking at here. This is the storm in question. We've been covering it now for several minutes. It's kind of getting a little messy. This storm has kind of congealed with the one to the north, and I'm wondering if that's having an impact on the circulation. Updrafts raining into one another. Messy storm mode could save us today from a substantial event. I'm not saying it's going to, or if, I'm not giving you a definitive, but man, I hope it does. But this is kind of an example of how that might be the case, which the tornado parameters in North Arkansas I don't think are as good as they are in Eastern Arkansas. Yeah, no, definitely still something there. It's over Cotter and Gassville now. I have a lot of followers from this spot in Gassville, flipping near Mountain Home. So I feel like if there was a tornado, I would probably know. And I don't have that right now. I don't have any reports. I tried. But nonetheless, folks in Cotter and Gassville definitely need to be sheltered. Mountain Home, they went ahead and issued the tornado warning out. So let's go ahead and talk about that. It does go all the way out to Fulton County. We're going to get specific on it again. So, excuse me. So just for clarification purposes, this is the only tornado warnings in Arkansas right now. So I'm not missing anybody. I'm going to go back to the reflectivity, and we will look at it from that angle. So Mountain Home, the sirens are probably going off. The sirens might be going off in Salem and Viola as well, which is in Fulton County to the east over here. Neither Viola or Salem are currently in a polygon, but that could change. If you live in Mountain Home, Briarcliff, Salesville, obviously we've been talking a lot about flipping and Gassville. You need to be sheltered. So if you live in Gamamill, if you live in Henderson, if you live anywhere on Highway 412 out of Mountain Home over to Henderson, if you live on Highway 101, which takes you all the way up to the Missouri border like you're going to Bakersfield, Missouri, if you live near Vedette, I think it's Jep, is how you say it, the G-E-P-P, Gep or Jep, on Highway 412, you need to be sheltered. If you live in southwestern or western Fulton County in general, you need to be sheltered. Specifically west of Viola off of 412, kind of that part of the county. The circulation is still near Gassville. This is an old scan, so 4-minute old scan. So this storm's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour, and it's headed... Okay, so there's a new scan. The circulation doesn't look as strong as it did earlier, so that's great. It was really strong near Yellville earlier. But with that being said, I certainly would encourage you, if you live in Mountain Home, if you live in the Western Hills subdivision, Colfax, if you live close to Midway, if you live north of Mountain Home on Highway 201, if you live on Highway 62, northeast of Mountain Home, I would be sheltered. Obviously, for those in the area, Norfolk Lake is right here by Mountain Home. If you live anywhere on or around Norfolk Lake, you need to be sheltered. If you're at the Crystal Cove Resort, the Wagon Wheel Resort, near the 101 and 412 interchange, which is just northeast of Mountain Home, you need to be sheltered. If you live on Highway 412 near Colfax, the Western Hills subdivision, if for some reason, which I don't know why anybody would be playing golf right now, but if you're at the Big Creek Country Club just southwest of Mountain Home, you need to be sheltered. If you live on Highway 126, the circulation's over you right now near Whiteville. And then if you live on Highway 201, which goes way south out of Mountain Home, you need to be sheltered as well, specifically around 4 to 5 miles south of town. But it appears to me that this circulation is going to go right through Mountain Home. So if it does decide to produce a tornado imminently, it could pass through the city of Mountain Home. I'm not saying it's doing that right now. It looks like the circulation has weakened some since earlier, which is great news. And I don't see anything on the correlation coefficient debris tracker, which tells me that Some solid news. We do have some tornado warnings to the north of Arkansas, just north of Bakersfield, Missouri. For anybody watching, I don't cover Missouri weather, but if you're in Midway, you need to be sheltered. I see somebody commenting about that. It's too close for comfort. Just go ahead and shelter and let the storm pass you. I'm going to switch out of Little Rock and see if we can get a better look at the storm out of Little Rock. This is just such a terrible area of our state for radar coverage. You can still see it there. Well, not really. Guess I'll just stay at Springfield. For those of you who are wondering, I know this probably just looks like a big bucket of spilled paint, but we're looking at the wind velocities, which shows us the circulations, rotation, and so on. The circulation is kind of located right here over Gassville. This is where a tornado would be if there was one. And Mountain Home is right here, so Mountain Home is next. This is moving off to the east, northeast. So I certainly want everyone in Baxter County, especially in and around Mountain Home, down to Briarcliff, areas north of Briarcliff from Mountain Home, 412 east of Viola. If you live in northeastern Baxter County, if you live in western Fulton County, I want everyone to be sheltered. Cotter, I think, is in the clear. This is past Cotter now to the east, along with Flippin, Yellville, and Summit. I know the sirens might be going off around Yellville or Flippin or Summit, but the circulation is near Gassville now, moving off to the northeast. Nick, I'm on the Springfield radar right now. It's just not a whole lot better. This is a terrible part of the state for radar. It's just really tough to get good analysis. Sorry about my chair, guys. I know it's noisy. Latest scan does look a little bit more impressive. So, really, folks, if you know somebody, Nancy, this is in North Arkansas. Camden's down in South Arkansas, so it's not going to hit you in Camden. If you know somebody who lives in Mountain Home, you got seconds that you need to call them. You need to call them soon and let them know that a possible tornado could be moving into town at any time. If you know someone who lives around Mountain Home, you need to call them. If you know someone who lives in Henderson, Arkansas, if you know anybody that lives on 201 north of Mountain Home, 101 north of Henderson up to Gamamill, if you know anybody that lives west of Viola, maybe in Vidette, Arkansas, Henderson, Gep, areas along 412 and 101 near Norfolk Lake. If you know someone who's up there, maybe they're up there on the lake this week or whatever it might be, you might give them a call and let them know that it's possible that a tornado is headed for their direction. It's headed east-northeast. It's about to move into Mountain Home. I'm going to check social media, make sure I'm not missing any reports. I'm not seeing any prominent reports or anything like that. Yeah, no, I don't have. I was hoping for something out of Mountain Home, but I don't have anything. They do have a severe thunderstorm warning issued for Bull Shoals, Lakeview, and so on. The circulation is over Mountain Home now, so it's moving into Mountain Home. Obviously, if you're in Mountain Home, hopefully everyone, if you're listening to this, or if you're sitting in Mountain Home at your house in your recliner, you shouldn't be in your recliner, you should be in your storm shelter, but if you're in Mountain Home and you're hearing me talk, remain sheltered for another 10 or 15 minutes. Let's let this thing pass. It's moving quick. This storm, I feel like, has just jetted from Yellville to Mountain Home 50 miles an hour northeast, so it's not moving super slow. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any tornado warnings, and it doesn't appear that I am. This is the only show in town for the time being. I feel like the circulation's gotten its act together a little. I feel like we went through a cycle as it moved through Gassville, and now as it's over Mountain Home, I feel like the circulation has improved some. It doesn't mean it's producing a tornado, but it certainly looks better than it did. It's too tough to see. Too tough to make a call. You likely might have hail around and north of Mountain Home. So just a heads up on that. You can see the hail core there on radar. Not sure how big that hail might be, but quarter size definitely seems possible. I told someone yesterday that I didn't think the large hail risk in Mountain Home was that high, and then here I am talking about larger hail. So that just goes to show you how much I know about weather. Sometimes it has a mind of its own. But you can kind of see, guys, the classic supercellular shape. You've got the forward flank here fanning out. You've got the inflow notch here. You can tell this storm is doing what it needs to do to try to produce a tornado. I just don't know if it is. Bad radar coverage in this part of the state, so I don't have the best data to access. But if you're in Mountain Home, the circulation's passing over town right now. This is a little bit of an old scan. I would say that there's a good chance that this is maybe crossing or is about to cross Highway 201 north of Mountain Home. So 201, for those of you who may not know, Highway 201 runs out of Mountain Home up to Clark Ridge. Like you're going to Missouri. This circulation, I think, is passing that now. It should be passing over 201, and it's going to head northeast. There, yeah. So there's the updated scan. It looks like it's moving just northeast of Mountain Home. It's a little muddy on the velocity, folks. When we're talking about the velocity or the couplet, this is the concern right here. It's tough to say exactly where it is on a map whenever you're looking at it from a radar site. But eventually this can move up to the north. You've got Clark Ridge to the north. The Treasure Cove Resort is to the north. And then Gamma Mill on 101 north. You know, you go off 412, take a left on 101, you can go up to Gamma Mill. I hope that I'm saying that right. But a large chunk of Baxter County and then western sections of Fulton County are under a tornado warning still. It almost looks like this thing has kind of shifted just a hair. No, it's about right in line. Maybe a little bit to the north. Right there at Mountain Home. Mountain Home people, if you're watching this, and you're in your safe spots, be sure to let me know what you've got going on. Let me know if you're safe. Let me know what you're hearing, what you're seeing. Hopefully there's nothing in town. It's just a circulation and that's it. This is the only tornado warning in Arkansas as of 2:34 p.m. So if you're anywhere else in Arkansas, not in Mountain Home, you have no tornado warning at this time. And looking from abroad, it looks like everything's under control. You can really see the circulation earlier. It was stout. And here it is now, moving off to just to the north of Mountain Home. I'm curious to see if the National Weather Service will maintain the tornado warning or if they will let it go. I think it's fair to say that they'll keep it for now, judging by the way it looks. I just got a video from Flippin. Somebody from Flippin referenced a rotating wall cloud directly overhead, south of Flippin, which makes sense given of where the circulation was. Said that they did not notice any ground contact or hail, but that they definitely noticed what appeared to be a rotating wall cloud, which I don't doubt. Based off the velocity signature, I think it's fair to say that that storm tried its best to produce a tornado near Yellville and Flippin, and now here we are just north of Mountain Home. Sarah, stay in shelter for a few more minutes. This will be out of your hair. It's about to move off to the east-northeast. I really want my people north of Mountain Home specifically to be sheltered until we can get rid of this daggum circulation. I think it's safe to say now that it's crossed 201. It's approaching North Fork Lake there north of Mountain Home towards the Seward Point public use area. We'll see how much of a northeasterly track it stays on. It's one of those things too, guys, where we get so caught up in these circulations. Regardless, if you're anywhere near Mountain Home, it is storming like the dickens right now. There's lots of heavy rain, plenty of lightning. It's probably very windy. There could be some hail in there, making the windows sound real noisy. when these storms really get their act together like this, they can be a little much. But of course, our main concern is that circulation and seeing if we actually have a tornado. I do want to touch on the rest of the state real quick and just kind of give everyone a synopsis. This is super concerning. This is what we call open sector, warm sector development. And this might miss Arkansas and impact more western Tennessee, North Mississippi, and so on. We'll see. But we might have more down here too that we'll have to watch. We have strong thunderstorms here that we're dealing with. This is where the bulk of the severe weather outside of North Arkansas is right now. Areas from Fort Smith north, you might have some lingering storms, but I think the biggest severe weather risk is now going to be shifting to your east. And this includes areas southeast of Fort Smith. We're talking areas of Yale County, up to Pope County near Russellville, Dardanelle, Clarksville. It's probably raining sideways right now. There's a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of lightning. We just had a new severe thunderstorm warning get issued for areas in Searcy County, so Marshall and Leslie, so Highway 65 runs all the way up through the county, and it's for this storm right here. These are older polygons there, and then we've got our one tornado warning as of 2:36 p.m. I'm going to switch back over to the Springfield radar because I think it gives us a better view. Guys, I am tired and we are just now getting started. I better wake up. It's been a long day so far. We're not even close to being done. Certainly still a circulation there. So this is moving off. The circulation is now just north and northeast of Mountain Home. In Dardanelle, we have nothing yet. That's going to change soon. Definitely sideways rain in Clarksville. I figured, judging by that radar scan, that looked pretty gnarly there in Clarksville. But folks, the tornado warning is still up for this circulation here north of Mountain Home, just north of Mountain Home. I mean, it's close. It expires in 20 minutes, so we'll see. Eventually, we're gonna hand this off to Missouri, like our other storms that we dealt with earlier. But western sections of Fulton County is still in the warning, but it's kind of looked like it's taken an odd track off to the north more so than just straight northeast. Excuse me, guys. I need to yawn. Oh, man. Just haven't slept a whole lot lately and probably not going to sleep much this week. But your concern, right, is going to be right in here, guys. Looking at reflectivity, it's kind of easier to see. That's not perfect. Don't take that for the gospel. But just north of Mountain Home, you can see this hail core that kind of stretches down. Your circulation is going to be embedded here. Here's your inflow notch. Storm is ingesting inflow there. Good sign for a surface-based supercell. If you look closely, you can kind of see the supercellular structure in the mess there. Not our classic isolated supercell by any means. We might not have that a whole lot today. Still no form. Candace is in Viola. Not quite in a tornado warning yet. We'll see what happens with this warning, though. Jolene, you're in Clarksville. It's storming like crazy there. We just talked about Clarksville a second ago. No tornado warning. Folks, be sure. Just one second. It kind of looks like it's trying to get its act back together a little bit. Let's go ahead and go back to the map real quick. And yeah, so 201 goes up to Clark Ridge. And then from Clark Ridge over to the east is Gamma Mill. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'm sorry, guys. You know where I'm talking about, though. 101 from 412 up to Gamma Mill. I can see it on my map there. I really want Gamma Mill to be sheltered. If you're anywhere on North Fork Lake, you should, first of all, you should be on the lake. But if you're anywhere near the lake, you need to be sheltered. Find the most inner room of your cabin or your home, or if you live near the lake or whatever, and be sheltered. The circulation center is right here. And like I said earlier, we're eventually going to hand this off to Missouri and be done with it for the rest of the day, and then Missouri can deal with it. But for now, it's still in Arkansas in northeastern sections of Baxter County. The circulation has passed Mountain Home. The sirens are, I would venture to guess, are still going off in Mountain Home. They're going to keep going off until that polygon expires. So, but I'm here to tell you that if you live in Mountain Home, the circulation has passed you to the northeast. If you live in the city of Mountain Home, if you live north of Mountain Home or northeast of Mountain Home, maybe not directly in the city limits, we live 1 mile south of Mountain Home between 126 and 201 and saw nothing but heavy rain, no wind or hail. Yeah, it looks like that's interesting. Isn't that crazy? Somebody from Mountain Home just commented and said, so it looks like, judging by the reflectivity, the bulk of the wind and the hail was more north of Mountain Home here. You can see it there. You said you live south down here. So reflectivity said there was a little, but there might not have been a whole lot. It's crazy how close it can be. Mountain Home School said that there was rotation. Yeah, so that sounds about right. Circulation is still ongoing, and this is going to continue off to the east-northeast. If you're in Gamma Mill, you need to be sheltered. Folks, once we get this tornado warning off the board, we can reset, and we can look at everything statewide and kind of discuss what we're expecting through the afternoon, and we can discuss the other storms that we have ongoing. But right now, this is the only tornado warning we have, so we got to make sure we cover it. Gamelia. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been saying it wrong. I'm learning, now that I'm doing live coverage like this, I'm learning my community names and city names better. So if you're in Gamelia, you need to be sheltered because the circulation it's close. And if it's not right on top of you soon, it's going to be just to your west. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't consider it. If you live anywhere near Gamelia or on Highway 101, or if you live near the Treasure Cove Resort, anywhere near North Fork Lake on the north end, for Arkansas' sake. If you live anywhere near the Gamelia campground, if you live north of the Gamelia campground, there's a Pentecostal church labeled on my map just northwest of Gamelia. If you're there for some reason, you need to be sheltered. Three Rivers Biker Church, you need to be sheltered. If you live anywhere near the Red Bank Use area landing, that's right off the North Fork, branch that goes in and around there west of Gamelia, the circulation's probably over you right now. This is a little bit of an older scan. You can see the circulation here. That's what we're looking at. I'm just waiting on a new scan to come in. Wow, I just got a photo from Mountain Home of this storm. Circulation certainly looks like it's getting stronger. So this is the newest scan. Once again, our circulation is here. Gamelia, it's on you now, or nearby at least. I'm curious to see if the National Weather Service adjusts the polygon any. I don't think this is going to go anywhere near Viola, or a large section of western Fulton County might be missed by this completely outside of the northwestern corner, just south of Bakersfield, Missouri. This reminds me of March 14th so much. We did this exact thing. Bakersfield, Missouri was hit by a strong tornado. They're just north of the Arkansas state line on March 14th. I hope this thing weakens because it's headed right for town. Bakersfield, Missouri is right here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost sure that Bakersfield was hit by a very strong tornado on March 14th, the same day that we were hit with ours. Here's a circulation path. You can see it. We put it in motion. I hate weather sometimes. We need that thing to weaken. Those people have been through way too much. Pendle is not under a tornado warning right now, I believe. Pendle was well to the southwest. You were close earlier to this circulation earlier, but not anymore. But this is certainly the most concerning storm in the state as of 2:44 p.m. Yeah, I thought they were hit hard. I appreciate y'all comment. Let me know. Destroyed Bakersfield. Well, they're about to possibly get hit by another storm that has a circulation on it. Some of the photos that I'm getting from Mountain Home are scary looking. That storm was spooky looking. I'm going to post this on my Facebook real quick and I'll show you guys on the stream from Andrea. I think it's Conan is how you say the name. Andrea, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. You guys have sent me some incredible stuff on social media, and I'm so thankful for it because I'm able to share it on my social media. Bro, that is scary looking. Holy cow. I think, honestly, I don't think there was a tornado that went through Mountain Home. I feel like this has a little bit more bark than bite, but there was definitely a circulation. And if I saw this, I would be... Oh my gosh. Give me just 1 second, guys. Can't spell sometimes, guys. This is approaching the Missouri state line. I think the National Weather Service went ahead and issued that out for Missouri. That includes Bakersfield. Man, I hope that thing dissipates quick. Guys, I'll get to your questions in just a second once we can get this posted up, and I'll show you that photo real quick. That circulation's about to cross the Missouri state line, which means that we won't have to deal with it. Unfortunately, we're going to have more warnings and stuff today, but I do want to show you the photo that Andrea Conan, I think that's how you say her name. Andrea, if that's not, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name. I did my best. This is a photo of that storm, guys. Look at that. You can see the cloud base is really, really low. A lot of contrast in the image. I think that's a really neat photo with the foreground. You can see the coloration there. Obviously, you don't see any lowerings or a tornado, but you can see how low the cloud bases are. Probably wasn't much. I wouldn't be surprised if it looked like this when it passed by Yellville earlier. And I wouldn't be shocked to know if there was a tornado, at least a brief tornado near Yellville earlier, especially with cloud bases that low. But very spooky looking storm, is it not? Yeah. I'm going to make sure I post that on X real quick. And then we'll go back to radar here in just a second and look at that. Wow, the hail in Yellville Summit was large too. Holy cow. I'll show you guys that too. Let's see here. So this is the hail from Yellville Summit. This is the same storm that produced the tornado warning. This was posted in my Zachary Hall, I have an Arkansas weather group. This is hail from that same storm that produced the tornado warning and all that. So, I missed the forecast on that. I didn't know if we would have that large of hail up in North Arkansas today, but I mean, it's obvious. I didn't mean to hit my mic. It's obvious we did. So, really large hail up near Yellville. And this is the same storm that produced the tornado warnings in the images that we just looked at earlier. So, and it looks like the circulation involved, folks, is going to cross the Missouri border in northeastern Baxter County and avoid largely the western sections of Fulton County. I appreciate you guys sending me photos and reports so much. That it's whenever I'm sitting in this office, sometimes I feel a little bit helpless, not knowing what's going on out there. And whenever I get reports like that, it is just so pivotal for me. So now that circulation is moving out of the state, let's do a reset, okay? Let's do a reset. Let's go out of Little Rock here and see kind of what we're dealing with for the time being. Because I know a lot of people are worried about what to expect where they live. We're closing in on the 3 p.m. hour. So it's 2:54 right now. We have the one tornado warning in North Arkansas that I would guess the National Weather Service is going to let expire because the circulation is moving into Missouri. We have several strong thunderstorms here. I mean, I can keep going down the line that stretch all the way from North Arkansas down into Southwest Arkansas near Mena. These storms are going to continue east, with time today. I'm going to drink. The greatest risk for severe weather today is in this part of the state. This part of the state is where the highest severe weather risk is today. So these storms out west are tracking east, so from left to right on your screen, and will eventually impact areas like Little Rock, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff. I think it's safe to say that most of us will probably see at least a thunderstorm out of this. Now, not everyone's going to get a tornado out of it, but if things cooperate and we have storm mode that can ingest inflow and remain surface-based, and we're not just dealing with a squall line that would just wind threats, some of these storms, as they move east, could be a mess. I mean, we could have some legitimate tornado producers through the next, it's 3 o'clock now, 2 to 7, I feel like was the timing today, 2 to 7, 2 to 8. So we've got about another 4 or 5 hours worth of these storms moving east and into an environment that is supportive for significant severe weather. I don't generally associate tornado outbreaks with storm mode like this, where it's kind of messy, squall line-ish, MCS-ish, whatever you want to call it, where it's just a larger complex. I like to see, for a tornado outbreak, I like to see isolated supercells. That's just my personal thing when it comes to being a forecaster. But today is a day where the kinematics, the dynamics of the system are strong enough to overcome that. We've spoke about that a few times today. So it's certainly possible as storms move east with time this afternoon and into the evening hours, we could really get rolling later today and have multiple tornado warnings at one time. And it could get a little hectic, so just prepare yourself for that now. But we'll see. I'm going to go back in and check on this tornado warning real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything on it, because technically it is still in Arkansas, the polygon. So the circulation is crossing the Missouri border now. It's about to move into Bakersfield, Missouri. getting all kinds of reports from Mountain Home. A lot of folks at Mountain Home, Briarcliff, Yellville, sending me reports of these storms. Let's look at the reflectivity here. So if you're in Harrison, it looks like the bulk of the activity is pushing off to your east. But you have thunderstorms ongoing now. Somebody asked about Russellville. How bad is it going to get in Russellville was the exact question. Well, you've got severe thunderstorms moving in on you now. So if you're in Russellville, Dardanelle, someone made a comment from Dardanelle earlier saying that it wasn't doing anything. It's about to do something. Atkins, you're next. Areas near Ola. Danville is storming like crazy right now. If you're traveling down I-40 from east to west, you're going to encounter this and not going to be fun to drive through. Tracy, if you're in Mountain Home, the tornado warning that sparked the sirens earlier, that has moved on. The circulation is crossing into Missouri now. I'm sure the sirens are probably still going off in Mountain Home, but guys, I can guarantee you that the circulation is beyond you. I'll show it to you. The circulation, unfortunately, is right over Bakersfield, Missouri. Hopefully it's not doing a thing, but I know those people are probably scared to death right now. But if you're in Mountain Home, there's no tornado threat right now. If you're in Briarcliff, if you're in western Fulton County, you're good. The circulation is to the north. Doesn't mean it's not storming. It's still storming in the area, but not a tornado warned storm. And we also have here, I know this technically isn't my coverage area. I don't cover the state of Arkansas. We have all sorts of open warm sector development here in western Mississippi, western Tennessee. And if these can go up and congeal and turn into supercells, we could be in huge trouble in that part of the country. And hopefully that stays east of Arkansas. That would be a huge blessing for our eastern Arkansas friends. We also have what appears to be some development here near Little Rock, so England and Stuttgart. I'll have to watch this. If this develops into open warm sector supercells, the tornado risk could be substantially high. And then we have developments there near Wynne, east near Memphis. Once again, I think hopefully this will stay out of Arkansas. I know it's in Arkansas now, but hopefully it just develops in Arkansas and moves off to the east-northeast. But that needs to be watched real close. Yeah, Salem and Viola, there's not really a whole lot going on there. I know that you probably might have had sirens earlier because of the warning in western Fulton County, but nothing there. And they went ahead and issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for the storms here near Danville and Dardanelle. And this is going to push off. It includes Ola, Morrilton, Atkins. I can go ahead and read you the polygon information. That way we know. This is a considerable threat. Per the National Weather Service, the severe thunderstorm was located near the Petit Jean River, so near Dardanelle, moving east at 60 miles an hour. And the National Weather Service is saying that this storm, this one right here that we're talking about near Dardanelle, Atkins, Russellville, Morrilton, could have 70-mile-an-hour wind gust. So even though there's not a tornado warning, you need to be sheltered if you live anywhere near this storm. We'll zoom in on it here for you. It looks like there is strong wind gusts that are kind of wrapping in on that backside. So I would definitely take this serious, even though there's not a tornado warning. If you live in northeastern Yell County, if you live in southern Pope County, near Pottsville, Russellville, Atkins, Dardanelle, if you live in Morrilton, Morrilton's Conway County, isn't it? Yeah, Conway County. If you live in Apello, Plumerville, if you live north of Plumerville and northern sections of Conway County, it's about to get nasty here in the next 20 to 30 minutes. So there's your early heads up on that. We'll just go down the line. Switch over to Fort Smith real quick. If you're in Fort Smith and up to northwest Arkansas, the bulk of the activity is moving to your east. So right on schedule around lunchtime for you guys. And wasn't really a whole lot to worry about. We have severe thunderstorms all the way down to Hatfield and Mena, and this stretches up near Waldron, so up in Scott County, back into into eastern sections of Scott County, southern sections of Yale County. And those are just severe thunderstorms with not really a whole lot of tornado risk right now, okay? We do have more development to the southwest and southeast Oklahoma that we'll have to watch. This is eventually just going to kind of fill in and move to the east. Really need to watch this, though, folks, near Stuttgart, England, Carlisle, Lone Oak, and Hazen. This isolated development here, well ahead of the main line. If this is able to develop, mature, and become a supercell, the tornado risk would be, I would say, rather high. So just a heads up for areas north, northeast, Des Arc, Augusta, Cotton Plant, maybe even Wynn. We'll cover that as it goes. It's no threat right now, but just something to watch. So no tornado warnings in Arkansas. It is 3 p.m., 3:03 p.m., and we have no tornado warnings for the time being, but plenty of action going on, plenty of strong storms. I think now is a good time to try to answer some questions that we have a little bit of a break in the tornado warnings. I have updates on my Facebook. I have updates on my YouTube channel and my Twitter. But if you guys have questions, Carolyn says anything about Corning. So Corning is in far northeastern Arkansas up in Clay County. That's a tornado watch. Yeah, no, not a warning right now. A tornado watch in Baxter County. I'm glad you said that. I think they issued... I'll get to the Corning question in just a second. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to skip over you. Let me go to my Twitter real quick, and we'll share that tornado watch. I'm sure they just issued one. Well, I don't see one on Twitter. We'll check the Little Rock website and make sure that I'm not missing that. I want to be able to share that with you guys. Okay, so yeah, I can see it here. That's just a terrible map. There's no way. So there is now a PDS tornado watch for a large part of eastern Arkansas. I'm going to pull up my Twitter real quick and we'll go over that. I want to read the text from the National Weather Service. This includes a large part of eastern Arkansas, of course. So we'll go ahead and pull this up here. So this is the tornado watch, and I know that this image is not the clearest in the world, but just bear with me. So this is, we'll just say all of eastern Arkansas outside of a few southeastern counties. So from like Union County, Ashley County, Chico County, you're not included, but everyone else east of Little Rock is. And this goes from Pine Bluff up to Jonesboro, Paragould. If you live, I'm just going to name off places. If you live in Monticello, Pine Bluff, Stuttgart. If you live in Searcy, Batesville, Jonesboro, Paragould, Pocahontas. If you live in Corning, if you live in Wynne, Forest City, Mariana, Brinkley, DeWitt, if you live in Dumas, guys, I could go on and just keep naming off these counties, cities in these counties. You are under a PDS tornado watch. And what that means, first of all, a PDS tornado watch is only issued in situations where the concern for significant tornadoes, strong tornadoes especially, exist. And this is straight from the National Weather Service. I don't make these up or issue these myself. And they are stating that storms are expected to develop this afternoon across the Arklamis, Mid-South. We're kind of seeing that now with the overall environment becoming increasingly favorable for tornadoes through the late afternoon and early mid-evening. This is from the National Weather Service. Some of these tornadoes may be strong or intense, so EF3+, with widespread damaging winds also likely across the region we're talking about, so this area. This is a PDS situation with intense storms expected over a relatively broad regional area with multiple rounds of severe storms possible in some areas. This goes all the way up into southern Illinois, southeast Missouri, western Tennessee, and so on. Extremely, extremely dangerous conditions exist. And there's also another tornado watch that includes a large... I want to go back to that too, because I know some other people might be confused, like, well, am I not in a watch? And you are under a watch. And I'll just show you the Little Rock. So this is... I know this map looks busy, but just focus on the counties in yellow. If you live in a county in yellow, you are under a tornado watch. And this goes for a large part of the state. So all the way from Logan, Scott, Polk counties, all the way east to the Mississippi River. This goes up to North Arkansas, Harrison, Mountain Home, all the way over to Clay County in Northeast Arkansas. A lot of you are under tornado watches through this evening. And then, of course, that PDS watch, though, was confined to eastern Arkansas. So like Little Rock, you're not in the PDS tornado watch, but you're still under a tornado watch for the storms that are to your west now. The orange is severe thunderstorm warnings. The dark green is flash flood watches. So just to kind of give you guys another reset, I know some of you have likely joined just now. We have some very strong thunderstorms ongoing now in western Arkansas, especially these storms here near Russellville and Clarksville. These storms have what the National Weather Service referenced as the potential for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts as they move through. So if you live in Russellville, if you live in Dardanelle, if you live in Atkins, specifically Pope and Conway counties, northeastern sections of Yell County, you're dealing with the nasty right now. These are strong to severe thunderstorms. Even without a tornado risk, they could still do damage, so stay inside and stay sheltered. One of my utmost concerns right now for the short term is this. Isolated, discrete development, open, warm sector, supercellular type development east of Little Rock. This, if it moves east-northeast with time, could impact areas of northeast Arkansas and could have an exceptionally high tornado risk. So that's something that we'll have to watch closely. We also have developments near Memphis. There's a bunch here in western Mississippi that should push off to the east-northeast and thankfully avoid a large part of Arkansas. But we still have this guy here that we're going to have to watch, and we'll have to see how these all merge. So that's kind of where we're at. That's hopefully a good reset for you. We have no tornado warnings as of 3:11 p.m., but we still have some very dangerous storms ongoing, and this is going to continue now. We're kind of here. Things have kicked off. We've already had tornado warnings. We've had severe thunderstorms. We've had damaging hail. We've had all kinds of stuff already, and we're really just getting started. I would expect storms to continue east through the next several hours, and the severe weather risk will be rather high as we go through the afternoon hours as well. I'm going to check my phone real quick and see if I've got any new reports. Well, Conway's getting hit. Yeah, Conway's going to be hit with storms here within the next little bit. We just got a tornado watch for Sherwood. Yep, Central Arkansas. A large part of the state is under a tornado watch at this time. Specifically, Eastern Arkansas. Most of our Eastern Arkansas counties are under a PDS tornado watch. What's going on, Sam? I think everyone outside of the PDS and Central is confused. No need to be confused. The PDS watch is just for areas that the confidence is higher in strong tornadoes. So if you live in Central Arkansas and you're under a tornado watch, you could certainly observe tornadoes. The PDS watch to the east is just where higher confidence is. That's the only difference. PDS watches are reserved for the most dangerous situations. How is D Queen looking? I think right now, okay. You do have some storms to your west that we'll have to watch, but nothing imminent as far as tornado concerns at this time. We'll see if that changes soon. So in between the two blobs is the worst place to be. Yeah, it kind of seems that way, right? I'm very concerned about this right here, folks. If I'm being brutally honest with you, we need this to go away, like now. Because this is, putting it simply, anytime we have open warm sector development, I mean, this thing's got 40,000, almost 40,000 foot tops on it. So this isn't just some baby storm. Anytime you have open warm sector development that's able to mature, isolate, and kind of just do its own thing with an environment like we have today, you're looking at the potential for a very high tornado risk. So I see the storms by Danville, Russellville, I see all that, and it's, poses a risk as well. But we really need that storm to fizzle because it could eventually impact areas of eastern, northeast Arkansas with a higher tornado risk as well. There's also that pop there near DeWitt as well. And who knows what'll happen to that, if it'll survive. We got this storm here too in eastern Arkansas, severe thunderstorm warning. That includes sections of Mississippi County. My map freaked out on me. Sorry, guys. I hate when that happens. Includes sections of Mississippi and Crittenden County with a severe thunderstorm there just west of Memphis. Near Marion, it could have some large hail in it. We can switch the Memphis radar real quick and get a real good look at this storm. But yeah, this is in Crittenden County right now near Crawfordsville and Marion. What looks to be the early beginnings of possibly a supercell. Might even be some hail in there. It's kind of a young storm, but that includes areas downstream, the same areas we were talking about the other night on Sunday. It goes all the way up to Luxora and Victoria and Osceola, Kaiser, Marie, Wilson, Bassett, and Joyner. So southeastern Mississippi County, and then northeastern and east central sections of Crittenden County. We'll switch back to Little Rock for the time being. I'm going to look back at the chat and see if I can answer some questions. I promise I'll answer questions now. Wynn area is under a significant risk for tornadoes today. High risk. As high as it gets. I know that sucks, but Josh Christensen says, how does our snow chances looking? I think we're safe today, man. I'd rather be done with snow than this. Greenbrier, you've got storms headed your way now. They're off to your west, Nicole. Should be there relatively soon. Are the storms going to keep moving northeast into Gassville and Mountain Home? You could have some additional activity, yeah, but the main motion of this system is going to be easterly with time. I have 2 system updates available. Thank you for letting me know. I'll get that done tonight. It has cooled off quite a bit in Cave City. Is that a good thing? Cave City's primed for severe weather again today. We'll see what happens, hopefully for the best, but certainly a severe weather risk is heightened in Cave City today. I'm having a hard time keeping up with how many comments are coming in. Cabot is in a higher severe weather risk today. Monticello, yes, you are in a higher severe weather risk today. Zachary, it's scary humid in Jonesboro. It feels like nadir weather today. A lot of you are likely experiencing that juiced atmosphere, a lot of moisture available. This is a very dynamic system. Little Rock area. Yeah, so if you're in Little Rock, I know a lot of you are probably wondering what's going on. We've got storms to the west. Those are eventually going to move into Little Rock here over the next few hours. So, and there is a severe weather risk, including tornadoes. We'll see what happens, but I think the risk for tornadoes is a little bit higher just east of Little Rock, but we'll see. Stephanie, I think Harrison's okay. I think the bulk of the activity is now moving off to the east from Harrison. Paragould is in a high tornado risk, level 5 of 5. It doesn't get any higher today. Morrilton, you've got storms moving in probably pretty soon. I'm having so hard. This is crazy, the amount of comments coming in. Batesville, there's a higher severe weather risk in Batesville today. Great question. Someone asked about sheltering. Any tips for the people that don't know what to do during a tornado without a shelter? We went over this earlier. We'll go over it real quick. If you don't have a storm shelter, you can still protect yourself in your home, especially if it's a site-built home. If you're in a mobile home, it's no good. Leave it. Mobile homes aren't safe during tornadoes. If you live in a normal, site-built, modern home, go to the innermost room of your home. Put the most walls in between you and the outside. Stay away from windows. Windows are bad. Interior closets, our bathrooms are fantastic. We use our washroom here where our washer and dryer are. It's the innermost part of our home. We've got a bunch of walls around it, so it's great. No windows. You can put mattresses over you to protect you from flying debris and shrapnel. You can put helmets on. You can use whistles, keep flashlights with you. If you do those simple things, I promise, guys, most of the time, that will protect you. I've got my wife asking me if I want something to drink from Sonic. She's a good wife. The hallway will probably get it done for you. It's better than nothing, I promise. Arkadelphia, yeah, that's down here. So we've got storms off to the west of Arkadelphia that we'll have to watch here. Thank you, Rita. I appreciate that. Just had sideways rain in Dover. Yeah, some of the rainfall today has been pretty heavy. Some of these storms mean business. Let's take another look at this Memphis storm. We also have storms to the south that include some Arkansas counties. Still mainly in eastern sections of Crittenden County. I kind of wonder how much of Mississippi County, southeastern, like extreme southeastern sections of Mississippi County could be impacted by that storm. And I think the stuff to the south is going to stay east of the Mississippi River for the most part. I know that this does extend down into areas like Helena, West Helena. A lot of that's in Mississippi, though. And then we still have these pops east of Little Rock. This storm looks like it's struggling a little bit. So that's a great sign, because that's disaster written all over it if it goes otherwise. That's an old scan, so it's hard to say on that. For those of you asking about timing, just looking from abroad here for the old state, like central Arkansas, we're talking within the next couple of hours. So, 4 to 6 p.m. it seems like, as these storms are moving pretty quick. And then eventually it's going to cross east of Little Rock and move into eastern sections of Arkansas. So, if you live in Jonesboro, if you live in Paragould, if you live in Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Fordyce, Searcy, you're kind of running out of time. If you don't want to be out and about when the storms get here, you need to go get whatever you need to get done now. Hopefully a lot of you have got the kiddos, school's over. I know some of you are dealing with school pickup in the middle of all this mess, but hopefully most of you are now able to get home and can just ride the storms out this evening. And we have another severe weather risk tomorrow. Let's go over that now while we don't have any tornado warnings, because I'm not going to get a lot of normal chances to talk about this because of what we have going on today. And I know that none of you literally want to hear this, but we have a severe weather risk tomorrow. This is not to be confused with the severe weather risk today. Okay, this is for tomorrow, Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, not Wednesday, not today. Okay, enhanced risk, level 3 of 5. This could be upgraded tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we have another moderate level 4 or 5 risk tomorrow for tornadoes. It is possible that the greatest risk is south of I-40 or close to I-40, so like Conway and Russellville South, Little Rock South. Tomorrow is a little bit more of a complex setup where we could have some conditional risk where if everything lines up correctly, kind of like today, we could have another round of strong tornadoes. The National Weather Service has already highlighted a large part of our state for significant tornadoes. This yellow hatched region goes from West Memphis down to Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Arkadelphia, Texarkana, and El Dorado. That's where the National Weather Service, their best guess is on where strong tornadoes could occur tomorrow, Thursday. This is not for today. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We got a lot going today, and I know a lot of you are stressed about today, and I'm not trying to stress you too much about tomorrow, but I'm probably going to be done late tonight, and then as soon as we flip the script to tomorrow, we're going to have to start focusing on tomorrow. And then we have another severe weather risk on Friday. Kind of the same thing. Enhanced risk, level 3 of 5. We could have tornadoes. We could have large hail, damaging winds. Once again, most of the state with an emphasis in the orange shading. This is, once again, Friday, April 4th. So we have a severe weather risk today, a high risk, a substantial risk on Thursday, a substantial risk on Friday, and we have another substantial risk on Saturday. So we have a substantial risk of severe weather somewhere within the borders of this state today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think by Sunday we're done. Like Arkansas, I don't know what the heck we did to make Arkansas upset with us, but that's just kind of what we got going on right now. I'm sorry, my dog's in the background barking. I think UPS just dropped off a package for me. She'll get over it in just a minute whenever they drive off. So, yeah, no, I'm not kidding. That's not an April Fool's joke. That's not a joke from me. That's being legit. I am just over it. I'm going to check a couple of updates real quick, guys. I'm just going to stay live. Part of me wants to kind of cut off the live feed for a little bit, take a break until we have more stuff going, but we still have severe thunderstorm warnings up. I'm just going to do some work right here in front of you. If you don't mind, give me just a second, okay? If you're in Northwest Arkansas, the severe weather risk is over. Along with areas like Fort Smith and above, up to Harrison, your severe weather risk is over. The National Weather Service updated their risk areas for today. I just want to make sure everybody knows. So good news. The storms there east of Little Rock do look like they're struggling a little bit. So that's a win. Let's hope it stays that way because, folks, I'm not joking. If this stuff right here matures into what you're seeing over here, Well, I mean, we are just in huge trouble. We have some activity down in southern Arkansas, near Smackover and El Dorado, down in Union County. Another pop there near Fordyce. Of course, this one right here. We need all these little beans, little pops, to just behave. Because those could be, if they are able to mature and produce supercells, in some big trouble in a parameter space very favorable for tornadoes. Really, the only two, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, okay? We've got one, unfortunately, for Mountain Home. I feel so bad for these people after what they just dealt with the tornado warnings. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is pretty much situated over Mountain Home right now, and it is noisy, loud, raining like crazy. I haven't looked. Nothing too crazy. I don't think we have any sort of imminent tornado problems there, but very noisy, lots of rain, probably pretty windy. And this line stretches all the way down from Mountain Home to St. Joe, Marshall, all the way down into Polk County, so Hector, Dover, and Russellville. And then it kind of stops at Danville and Ola. And these storms southwest of there are not severe. This activity is what I'm saying. For now, it's not severe. Here in a little while, we'll see what happens. And I will say that last night, models had thunderstorms. They were strong. Kind of like meandering east through the afternoon. And like once they get to Little Rock and east, the models just went from like 0 to 100. And I'm kind of seeing that right now. Like right now, yeah, these storms are strong. I'm not trying to take anything away from these severe thunderstorms up here. And I know these are noisy and there's lots of rain. But like, we can handle this, guys. This is all good. Which the severe weather risk is much higher to the east. These storms are moving east right now. They're swinging east. The severe weather risk is highest in this area of the state. Especially here. So these storms haven't entered the better parameter space. So, who knows what things look like in a couple of hours. Especially with the prefrontal development that we're seeing here. If those end up doing something. I'm just thinking out loud, honestly. It's kind of nice just to be able to say what I'm thinking. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to see if I have any additional reports. Some of the hail reports up north were pretty big. I don't think we have any reports of damage up in Mountain Home from earlier. I got a lot of reports from Mountain Home. A few scary-looking clouds. Not for sure if we had anything tornadic. Would be really interested to see if there was a tornado near Yellville earlier, though. But I think what I'm going to do, I think what I'm going to do is, since we just have severe thunderstorm warnings right now, we don't have any tornado warnings. I feel like this is kind of going to be my last chance to hop off bathroom break, grab a little bit of food. And here, when storms start getting closer to the metro area for Little Rock, and if more severe thunderstorm warnings start getting issued, tornado warnings specifically, hop back on. We'll probably have live coverage through the rest of the evening. So I feel like this is going to be my only last chance to kind of get a break as these storms kind of take their time to mature as they move east. Obviously, if there's a tornado warning that comes up in the next few minutes, I'll hop right back on. But I hate to split and end these coverages over and over, but I don't want to just do one over and one over. So I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to hop off real quick, use the restroom, grab some food. I'm just in the next room, so if we have any issues pop up, any tornado warnings, I'll hop back on and we'll cover it live together. I have a feeling that things are going to get really busy here in just a little while, especially by that 5 p.m. hour. So that's what I'm going to do. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. Thank you guys so much for watching and the reports that you've sent me. If you have questions, I've got all kinds of info on my Facebook, my Twitter. I have a TikTok if you want to follow me there. If you don't use TikTok, Facebook's great. YouTube's fantastic. I have like 230 messages earlier on Facebook, so I'm not going to get to all of you,